Hi, everyone. Welcome to our August breastfeeding live session. We're joined today by our two awesome breastfeeding peer counselor seniors, Shannon and Hada, and they'll be going over the topic of celebrating National Breastfeeding Month. So, if you didn't know, August is National Breastfeeding Month. So, they're going to give us a lot of information about that and just about breastfeeding in general. So, if you're watching this live, thanks for joining us. And if you're just watching the recording, feel free to leave any comments below and we'll get back to them as soon as we can. So thank you so much. Go ahead and take it away, Shannon and Hada.
Hello, my name is Shannon. I am the Breastfeeding Peer Counselor Senior, as WIC said. I have been with WIC for 10 years, and I'm excited to do this presentation with y'all today.
Hello, I'm Hada. I've been with WIC for 15 years, and I'm also a Breastfeeding Peer Counselor Senior.
Okay, so let's get started. So as Claire said, August is National Breastfeeding Month. Every year, August is National Breastfeeding Month. World Breastfeeding Week is the first week in August. It's always the 1st through the 7th. A little bit of history about World Breastfeeding Week. It was first celebrated in 1992 by WABA, which means the World Alliance for Breastfeeding Action. Now it's observed in over 120 countries by UNICEF and WHO, and several other partners, which include individuals, organizations, and governments. WABA was formed on Valentine's Day in 1991, and the goal is to reestablish global breastfeeding culture and provide support for breastfeeding everywhere. It's also the first week in August. It's also National WIC Breastfeeding Week. Every year, National WIC Breastfeeding Week is hosted by the U.S. Department of Agriculture and celebrated in conjunction with World Breastfeeding Week to promote and support breastfeeding as the best source of nutrition for a baby. Secretary Thomas Vilsack issued a proclamation to declare August 1 through 7th National WIC Breastfeeding Week. This observation recognizes the 50 years of notable contributions of the WIC programs, breastfeeding promotion and support activities.
So why is breastfeeding support important? Well, healthy families, healthy moms, healthy babies. There's a need for education. So trying to get that information to everyone, and not always straightforward and as simple as planned. Sometimes your breastfeeding journey can be very complicated. You can hit a lot of road bumps, speed bumps. And, sometimes things don't work out the way you wanted them to. And that brings me to overcoming challenges. So yes, sometimes breastfeeding can come with numerous challenges. Sometimes it can be easy peasy. You just never know. Every baby's different. Every pregnancy's different. One baby may be, great at breastfeeding, where another one needs a little bit more help and maybe a few more visits to see the lactation consultant. Setting up moms and caregivers up for success. That's another reason why it's important. But we at WIC support all breastfeeding goals and feeding decisions, and it's really up to you to decide how your breastfeeding journey is going to go. So there's a lot of special celebrations in the month of August. Week 1, which is World Breastfeeding Week, is recognized everywhere as August 1st through 7th. Always the first Saturday in August is when they will do most events. And the theme this year is Prioritize Breastfeeding. That theme came from WABA, and that's the 2025 Breastfeeding Week theme. Week 2 is Indigenous Milk Medicine Week. That's August 8th through 14th. The theme for Indigenous Milk Medicine Week is Unapologetically Indigenous, Love, Land Back, and Liberation. Week 3 is Asian American, Native, Hawaiian, and Pacific Islander Breastfeeding Week, August 15th through 21st. The theme there is Diverse Voices, One Vision. And then August 22nd through 24th is Military Lactation Celebration Week. And the theme for that is Decade of Dedication. The observance aims to inspire and empower military families in their lactation goals.
Yeah, real quick, 𝗗𝗁, that military lactation celebration, that just started, I believe, 2 years ago was the first year they started recognizing and celebrating. I thought that was really cool when I was doing some research and learned that. So that's an awesome new one.
I'm glad they added that because I don't think there was any kind of recognition before. And so this is really good. And it's nice that there's something every single week, observing the different cultures and such. Okay, so on with more special celebrations. Week 4, which is the last week in August, is Black Breastfeeding Week. And the theme for Black Breastfeeding Week is Boots on the Ground, rooted in breastfeeding success, grounded in community support. And then breastfeeding weeks will extend into September. Week 5 is going to be considered Workplace Lactation Week. The theme for that is A World of Support, creating breastfeeding-friendly workplaces everywhere. It's so important for us to have breastfeeding-friendly workplaces and mother-friendly sites so that, moms can feel empowered and feel like they are able to, breastfeed and get that milk for their baby. So that's a really, really important week there. And then week 6 is Semana de Lactancia Latina, September 8th through 14th. This annual week seeks to raise awareness and celebrate breastfeeding within the Latinx communities, addressing specific barriers and promoting support. I think that's a new one too, actually, Shannon.
Yes, it is new. Some of the local events that are happening here around in our area, on 8/9 at the farmers market at Sunset Valley, WIC is going to be out there supporting breastfeeding moms. Mom's Place, our lactation support center, will be out there as well with some incentives and goodies and just information. Also, the Mother's Milk Bank does a really cool milk and cookies tour in August every year. If you want to take a picture and scan that QR code, you can get it right there. But at 4 times this month, they'll do like a little hour tour. It's a really good tour. And yes, their cookies are very delicious. A couple more events is a maternal infant outreach program. They have an event called Chocolate Milk. It's just real talk, real stories, and real joy. They don't have a location yet. That's to be determined, but you can follow them with MyUp on their Facebook page and get more information on that. I'm sure Austin, Texas family right now, our page that you're on right now, we can update on that as well, I'm sure. Also, too, another one that I just found out that I didn't add on the weeks, September 16th through the 22nd is another celebration that just started. I just learned of it this year. It's the Deaf and Hard of Hearing. They have a virtual event. Again, you can scan that QR code right there and learn more about their event. Their theme is Close the Gap, Bridge the Divide. If you have any more local events that we didn't mention that you know about, definitely reach out to us and let us know. Feel free to comment in with the details. Also, too, again, follow our page and we'll announce events as they are announced.
Okay, so, and also just an update, new laws for pregnant and nursing mothers. So there's the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act, PWFA, that went into effect June 27, 2023. That's not too new, but many people don't know about it. And it applies to employers with 15 or more employees in the workplace. Another one is the PUMP Act. And that went into effect April 28th, 2023, providing urgent maternal protections for nursing mothers. And so that's what PUMP Act stands for. So a little bit about the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act. PWFA provides additional protections to pregnant workers. It prohibits any employment practice that either directly or indirectly discriminates against qualified employees who are affected by pregnancy, childbirth, or related medical conditions by failing to provide reasonable accommodations unless the accommodation would create an undue hardship on the operation of the business. It also prohibits employers from requiring a qualified employee to accept an accommodation that differs from the reasonable accommodation arrived at through the interactive process between the employer and employee. Denying employment opportunities because of the need for such reasonable accommodations, also requiring qualified employees to take paid or unpaid leave if another reasonable accommodation is available. And it again prohibits employers from taking adverse action against the qualified employee, such as altering the terms and or conditions of their employment, demotion, termination, because of the qualified employee's reasonable accommodation. So the PUMP Act. The PUMP Act extends protections for nursing mothers. It extends the already existing law requiring that employers provide reasonable accommodations for breastfeeding employees to express milk while at the workplace for up to 1 year after birth to all breastfeeding employees, regardless of whether they're entitled to overtime under the prior FLSA law. Reasonable includes providing breaks and a private non-bathroom space in which employees can address their lactation needs. So definitely an office or a room that has a door that locks with no window in it or a window covered that is not a bathroom space.
There also has been some key provisions to Texas breastfeeding laws. One of them is the right to breastfeed. According to the Texas Health and Safety Code, a mother is entitled to breastfeed her baby or express breast milk in any location where she is otherwise authorized to be. This law emphasizes the importance of breastfeeding for maternal and child health. For example, if a mom is allowed to be in HEB, she is allowed to express breast milk or breastfeed her baby in HEB. Anywhere she is allowed to be, she's also allowed to express breast milk and feed her and breastfeed her baby. We talked a little bit about the mother-friendly work sites. 𝗗𝘗 had kind of briefly touched on those. Texas has established the mother-friendly work site program, which recognizes employers who provide supportive breastfeeding policies. Employers are encouraged to create a work environment that includes access to hygienic storage for breast milk, flexible work schedules for milk expression, and private areas for breastfeeding or pumping, again, that are not bathrooms. So many moms have had to pump in bathrooms, just not knowing the laws. So we definitely want to stress, like, not bathrooms, you know, we don't want to pump, and we want it to be in a clean, hygienic place. Here's some support and resources. Breastmilkcounts.com is an awesome one. We have Mom's Place. It's a lactation support center. It's here in Austin. It's staffed with IBCLCs, registered nurses, and breastfeeding peer counselors. And then we have our WIC peer counselors too as well. Those phone numbers are there on the screen. Definitely call and reach out. The peer counselors can help with basic breastfeeding support and questions. Oh, this is an exciting one. Let's celebrate you. Do you have a favorite breastfeeding memory, or did you overcome a breastfeeding obstacle? I want you to go ahead and leave your story in the comments. Our stories create community, and that is important to help normalize our successes and struggles. You never know who you'll be helping. We also are going to have a drawing for a special breastfeeding goodie bag after the live. We'll reach out to you if randomly chosen and mail your goodies to you. And then just some extra entries if you want to do that. We have a little trivia, some questions. The first question would be, how many wet diapers should a baby have in 24 hours by day 6 in life? Let's go ahead and answer these questions in the comments and then just extra entries. Question 2, how many dirty diapers, which stinky poop diapers, should baby have in 24 hours by day 6? And then here's a bonus. This one is cool. I learned this not too long ago. I mean, when I first started. What's the hormone's name that helps the milk eject from the breast? And here's a hint. It's the, quote, love hormone. Answer those questions in the comments. We'll get you added extra entries into the drawing. And then if you're drawn, we will get in touch with you and then mail you a little goodie bag. And that's it, August 2025, Forward Together. That's National Breastfeeding Month. That's the theme for the U.S. Breastfeeding Committee. If y'all have any questions or any concerns about anything that we've talked about or needing some breastfeeding support, again, you can always reach out to us through the WIC office, through Mom's Place. We're here to support you in your journey of feeding your baby, even if it's formula feeding or breastfeeding. We want to help support you and do what we can for you and your family.
Excellent job, ladies. I learned so much, and it was so nice to just reinforce all of those important laws that we have in place that protect our mothers. So I really appreciate y'all taking the time to explain this for our moms. And if y'all have any questions or if you would like to enter the giveaway, feel free to leave your comments down below and we'll get back to those as soon as possible. But thank you so much, Shannon and 𝗗𝘗. I learned a lot. That was really helpful.
Yeah, it was very law heavy. We went over quite a few laws in this presentation, but yeah, they're very, very important. So I'm glad the more who know, the better.
I agree. All right. Well, we'll see y'all next month. Thank